cancels $500 million of aid to Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. $500 million of aid. Now, I saw the face on the people there who were reading this. And I saw the face of the people who were working with NGOs, who were dedicating their careers, their lives to this. They could be in finance in New York City, making all sorts of money. These are high caliber people. And what are they doing? They're dedicating all their creative energy and their heart and soul to these issues. And what are we doing? We're given a few days to help support them. I feel so good about this work that we're doing here, especially when you consider that people are dedicating their lives down there in the trenches, getting traction. And I saw the NGO workers for the World Food Program and all these great groups. I saw the disappointment on their faces because the work they want to do, they can't do because we saved $500 million so we can have other priorities, And I just thought, we need to empower these people down there to make a difference, not just because we love our neighbors, but because that'll make America a safer place. It's really important to get that message across, So this show we're making, Hunger and Hope, Lessons Learned from Ethiopia and Guatemala. I went down there not to do a tour show on Ethiopia or Guatemala. We didn't even go to the famous places. It was, we went down there to use those countries as a classroom for why is there poverty. It's structural.
Yes.
It's structural, and people cannot get out of it. And Bread for the World tackles that structural underpinnings of poverty and hunger. Because of Bread for the World, I believe Bread for the World spearheaded this, and we led the world in forgiving the debt to the most heavily indebted nations on this planet. That's structural poverty, and we took away that bit of structural poverty. I was standing on a building on top of a roof with David a few months ago, and we were looking out at a brand new industrial plant that employs 60,000 workers in southern Ethiopia, people who would be struggling to survive on some farm in some parched corner of that country. They were so happy to have a place to work and earn $10 a day because they were connecting with the global economy. And what the thrill for me was to stand on that rooftop with David and to see the gratification of the face of Bread for the World in so many ways. On top of that building, seeing the result of all of our work here. Everybody on the staff, everybody who's lobbying, everybody who writes a letter or sends in some money. I was standing there with David and he said, this is what Bread for the World does. 60,000 people in that one town have a job because Bread for the World pushed for a trade arrangement where Africa had a little bit of favor so they could pull themselves out of a hole and have people engaged with the global economy. That's not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue, that's just common sense. The stuff that Bread for the World does is amazing. It empowers us. I'm fortunate because I run a business and I've got some impact and some extra money. And when I want to give money to something that's going to get traction and make a difference, I've thought long and hard about this because, I'm really good at what I call vicarious consumption. I can only consume so much before I get no more joy out of consuming more. A lot of Americans just keep on consuming until they're blue in the face. They don't realize if they could vicarious consume, they could create a lot more joy and enjoy it through somebody else. So I vicarious consume my extra income with stuff I'm no pauper, I live really comfortably, but I don't need more. And I empower Bread for the World to make a difference, and then I'm able to enjoy that vicariously. You see?
Amen.
This is a way to do it. So if I've got a little extra energy, a little extra money, and I want it to get some mileage, I can't think of a better recipient than Bread for the World. This is advocacy. And one of the things that I teach is charity's got its place, but if you really want to have a more compassion 201 instead of 101, think about advocacy, because then we empower our nation to do what our congresspeople want to do, and that's the right thing. I just love that. So I've just innovated a way for me to be a more ethical travel company by giving myself my own carbon tax. And I'm creating a portfolio where I figure what it takes to make the 30,000 people that go from the United States to Europe and back carbon neutral on their flight. This is not heroic, we should be paying it anyways, but we don't have to. I'm gonna as a company because I think I wanna be honest about this. And what I wanna do is not buy solar panels here or something like that. I wanna empower development in the hungry world to be able to develop in a way that's less impactful in a negative way to climate change. There's a lot of desperate people in desperate countries that just to live, they have to deforest. They have to, you know, disadvantage, they have to abuse their soil. They have all sorts of ways that they can be less of a negative impact on climate change. But we need to develop that. It's called climate smart agriculture. So I thought, what can I do to make a difference? And I'm gonna take $200,000 of this program, of this portfolio, and give it to Bread for the World with the precondition that Bread for the World's all over this, is gonna focus on supporting climate smart agriculture in the hungry world so people can produce food and feed their children and not be stunted and all that, and at the same time, not contribute so much to the carbon problem on our planet. And I know David is all over that, and I've seen their papers, and it's another dimension of how Bread for the World can work for us to help our country have a better part of the mix on this planet. So I'm really excited about that new future.